hear myself through my headphones. Yes, man. Like, I feel real good about this right now.
Pay attention, because you are now listening to Permission to Speak Freely.
Like when they cross the room, bro.
I can't call it a cold open this time because we tried to start already.
Oh, man.
Hey, we joined by Madison Farr. What's up, Madison? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good and doing okay. It's 14 degrees outside right now where I am. I'm at DC.
It's 26 degrees where I am.
For real?
So,
where you at?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. What part?
We could say Burlington, but I live in the country, so I live in the sticks.
Oh, so you out in the sticks, yeah. And we are, everybody on, I guess, this side of America is getting ready for the storm of the century, right?
Yeah.
Cars are like lined up outside of markets and traffic is crazy and
gas stations are full.
Yeah, and we supposed to, where I'm at, they like, yeah, we're going to work on Tuesday. I'm like, the way people shopping, the way people, like y'all can't survive without DoorDash for one day. Like the way people shopping is like we about to be snowed in for a whole month. They talk about the schools are not going to be open all week. So it's 14 degrees. I just ran outside, right? I'm fresh, in the house from running outside to go get some ice melt or salt, whatever you may call it. And the first thing that I want to talk about is the power of like boutique stores, right? So last night going around looking for ice melt and is none available. Like all the stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, like all the big franchise companies, none available, right? Today in the Neighbors app, which is super clutch, somebody's like, hey, such and such on such and such has ice melt. Like, go get it. So I go there, family store, man. Family owned, operated type spot. I walk in the store, it's a cat in there. And it's so family owned, operated. I don't know if it's a stray or it's a family cat. There's nothing on the neck, right? So I go and and the dude's like, hey, I could bring it to your car. Just go in and pay for it. So boom, go in. They got like a little lounge area. None of this is, when I say lounge area, I'm not talking about like a nice hotel type thing. I'm talking some thrown together fucking furniture, a TV somewhere, some crates, like just somewhere where that family just chills at where ain't no customers, right? So I pay, I leave, pull my car back. Dude throws the salt in he throws the salt in my trunk, and I helped him with the other one. But he was doing that for everybody that was coming around, and he was like, "All right, I'll see you next time." And I was like, You're right. You will see me next time. This is the only place I'll ever come to for salt, right? Because they did it. And the last experience I had like that was I got one of those chip keys for my car, Madison, and it broke. It broke. It was old, right? I had the car now for like 10 years, and I guess I pressed the hell out of my damn, my key thing, right? My thumb must be killing that key fob, right? So I had to get a new one. So but I went to a mall and they did the keys, and man, it was looking like I was about to spend like $400 something, right? It's like just with all the charges and all the things they want to do. I'm like, yo, but what if I get the key from Amazon? Because I had already ordered a key. I'm like, yo, I ordered a key already. They said, yeah, even if you ordered the key for us to program it and do all this stuff, we're still going to charge you $250 or whatever, right? I'm like, okay, cool. And me, I'm not one to like search far and wide for the best bargain or deal. But I held off. And I'm like, all right, let me see what else I could do. Matter of fact, I used ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was like, yo, it's cheaper ways to do this. Boom. So I found a locksmith in my neighborhood. And I go to the locksmith because you got to get the key cut after you buy it, right? Mm-hmm. So I go to the locksmith to get the key cut. And then they cut the key, and I'm like, well, do you program it? Because I need to go take it to get it programmed, and that's going to cost me like $125. That's like, yo, dude, all you need to do is put the key in the ignition and like turn it like a half a turn one way or something, and it's going to be programmed. He's like, they like, don't pay for that. I'm like, for real? And I'm like, yeah.
What?
I'm like, all right, well,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, depending on what car you got. He was like, it's gonna take like 8. He's like, it's gonna take a half a second. And then I went out there and did it, and it worked. And my key was programmed, and I was ready to go. And he's like, hey, there you go, man. And I was like, yo, let me get one of them business cards, man.
Yeah, man.
It's the only, it's the only place that I'm coming to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I'm with you with that though, Damo. I'm the same way, man. When somebody like look out for me for anything, man, they my go-to, man. Like I hit them up, call them up. They'd be the go-to, man. Them mom and pop stores most definitely be some go-tos, man, in the clutch.
Yeah.
Most
yeah.
definitely.
Hey, Madison, we got one more thing we have to do before we, do anything else. So we had an episode last week, and I think we really, really covered down on like clarity and all that stuff, right? But we had an episode last week, and we were talking about PFA, like PFA standards.
Mm-hmm.
And I had, like, just so the listeners know, when I'm talking about something like that out of a policy, like I had a graphic that I was referring to the whole time. And we had a guest on. And I'm going to be honest, y'all, I shortchanged the guest. Like he took ownership and all that, but I shortchanged him in a way because I kind of put him on a spot to talk about something. And he went off the top of his head, and a couple, in going off the top of his head, he made a couple errors and kind of trying to remember whatever it was that he was talking about. And those two things were about like if you weigh on a scale, if you get weighed on a scale, and you get weighed on a scale regardless of whatever happened. You always step on a scale. And then the other one was about where the waist measurement is.
Yeah.
And the waist measurement is on the belly button. But again, salute to Troy, man. Troy, he stepped up. He took it. But I also like putting somebody in this environment, having them talk on a podcast, putting them on a spot. I know how I wouldn't want to be put on a spot about certain things. And so he just kind of got put on a plank and made a couple mistakes. And they were the only two that came out of that. So I want to salute him and salute our listeners who jumped on YouTube and was like, yo, it's important that y'all get this right. So I think we did a decent job at making sure we let everybody know. But for the listeners who might not see us on YouTube or follow us on social media, I wanted to make sure y'all knew. Right, Damon?
Yeah, most definitely, man. And also back to the listeners, man, like you're right, Troy doubled down on it, man. He came on, he talked about it. But for the listeners, man, I want to thank you guys too, man, because hey, I have looked in comments before, man. It was real ugly, right? But these comments was good, man. They was like right on spot. They was, doing the things that I look forward to seeing in the comments, man. Like they wasn't being ugly about it. They were just saying, hey, we need to get this right. And that was pretty cool, man. So shouts out to the listeners.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, and just so y'all know, Madison came on here because she said we need some E Foreign Junior representation. And we do, right?
This is true, yeah.
We do, and we be begging for it, Madison. We beg for it, but they might
be. I felt like a lot of people are scared to do it, E4 and below, because they may feel like they get reprimanded or they don't know a lot, as Chiefs may do. I feel like a lot of people probably think that way as well.
Shit, yeah, hey man, shit. Hey, Madison, it's 2026. Ain't nobody scared no more. They need to come on here, talk to us, man.
They are. Some people are. They rather go on their car.
Yeah.
People rather go on their car on TikTok and be, complain about getting corrected about, the ball cap or something that they should. But you're here, right? And what's your rundown? What's your career rundown?
Like where I was stationed and what I did.
Uh-huh.
So I joined in 2018 in September.
Uh-huh.
Shipped out to boot camp. Craziest thing in boot camp, loved it. Went to A school for 6 months in San Antonio. Then I went to Quantico, Virginia, temporarily for 6 months after my school. Then I went to Charleston. Was stationed in Charleston, South Carolina for 2 years. Left there in 2021. I was actually supposed to follow my ex-husband to Greenside, but instead they're like, this is happening. You need to pick your orders today, and it has to be a ship. I was like, all right. So then I went to the Ford and stayed there until 2024.
Yeah, and you were in HM.
Yes.
So what's HM for you? What's HM life on a big deck, right? So I was on a big deck for a little bit, and it's damn near like a hospital to me, like a mini hospital. Like, and then it was this whole thing about which door you can knock on and number you can call service and all that weird stuff. But on a small boy, I know exactly what it is, right? You got your IDC, you got a HM2 or 3 or something helping out your IDC, and maybe another. What was like your experience on a big deck as a HM?
It was definitely something. I would say that. I loved it, but it was very draining. But it's cool because you're the hospital of the strike group. So like anything the strike group needs, they get flown over to the carrier. It's cool because you have so many corpsmen, you have so many different NECs. And then for quad zeros, you can do a lot of stuff. So you can, when you do coverages for like MAs, you can shoot the guns if they let you. I personally worked on the flight deck. Love my air people. Love them. So I worked on the flight deck while my ABHs. Love Crash. Shout out to Crash and Salvage.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was definitely a fun time.
Yeah. So what was... So Carrier first time. So Carrier was your first ship, right? You said you did Quantico for a little bit, but your first ship was on a Carrier. So what was that like for you? Just your first experience? And this, like my first time going on a ship was in 2007 or something like that. But you know, your first time going on a ship is like 2020 or something, like 2022, you said?
2021, yeah. So when I first got there, we were actually in the yards.
Yeah.
It was, I got there right after they went out for shock trials. So they came back to the yards. We stayed in the yards for a little bit. I didn't like being in the yards. You know, they're doing hot work all the time. You got to wear a helmet, your glasses. And then we finally set out to go underway every couple of weeks. And we worked up until we went on the first deployment.
Yeah. Oh, so you actually went on that inaugural kind of maiden voyage.
We did.
Yeah.
So we went on like a mini deployment for that 2 months that we did in 2022. Then we came back and then we left for actual deployment in 2023 in May.
Hey, Madison, how was the environment for the yards? How was everything, like that whole thing? Like, was you had your own house? So you stayed in the barracks? Where you was at? How would that go?
When I first got there, I was separated. So my ex-husband he couldn't come with me yet. So I actually was living with a friend, and then I had to find an apartment my own. But the environment was fine. I never lived on the ship while I was in the yards.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like it's been a lot of talk about just being in the yards for.
But it definitely is hard because even when I did my 24-hour duties, sleeping in medical itself was rough because they were redoing the hangar bay, like the nonce get up there, grinding, doing hot work. It was really rough. So I couldn't imagine living inside, like in the racks, in the berthing, in the yards the whole time.
Yeah. And then, so you come into a ship, you're young, and I'm going to get right to it because it's something that we deal with. It's something that I'm dealing with at my command, and just trying to healthy courtship and dating habits for young men, you know, period, right, in the Navy. When I was a young sailor on my first ship, we had, whenever a young lady would come to the command, you know, we called them the WAC, right? We called them the Welcome Aboard Committee. It'd be a group of dudes, you know, people trying to see who could get her, whatever. And I mean, it hasn't really changed from that, right? So I'm creating some programs now where I'm at to help some of our younger sailors just understand, like, they always have like things that gear to women and things that might gear to groups. But I want to do something just to help some of the young men understand like healthy courtship habits and what you can and can't do. What was and we don't get from women that experience with that a whole lot, especially nowadays. What was your experience coming onto a ship as a separated? Honestly, I don't think the young men would have cared if you separated, married, whatever, right? But what was your experience with that?
I didn't really have an experience like where people were, you know, trying to get with me, whether I was separated or married at first. it's just everyone was welcoming, no matter who, if it was a male or female. But nobody really, I guess, like tried to hit on me while I was separated, or be like, you trying to date, or you trying to do this. So I would say I didn't really have an experience when I got on the ship at first.
Oh, that's great.
That's great. Yeah.
That's like really, really, and I'm actually happy to hear that. Were you afraid of anything going on that carrier?
I was afraid of the not knowing. I was like, this ship is huge. Like, I just, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect when we go underway. Like, what are we going to do? What are we going to see? How long are we going to be gone for?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Where you worked at, Madison?
Flight deck.
Oh, flight.
So I worked in medical. So I worked in BMR, like where you do the physicals, where you do the flight deck physicals, all that. But so we had rotations. So I would work every other day on the flight deck when we were on deployment.
Yeah. Why'd you join in the first place?
Because I didn't have nothing going for myself. I was sitting in my weightlifting class, and because I had played basketball at the time, I was a junior, I think. I think I was a junior or a senior. And a recruiter came by that day and was just talking to the class. Never had any thought about joining the military, Navy, ever. And I was like, that sounds pretty cool. So I just took it by myself and then did the paperwork. And they said they needed my mom to sign. And I was like, hey, Mom, I want to join the Navy. Like, can you come and sign the paperwork tomorrow? And she's like, what? I said, yeah.
So, how moms feel about that?
She was shocked. Nobody in our family joined the military ever. So I was the first person. So she was kind of shocked. I didn't know what to think about it. But she was happy for me that I wanted to do something.
That's good.
Were you already planning to get out? And like after, you did one term or you did two?
I did one.
Were you always planning to get out after one?
No.
What made you get out?
I had kids. So I was pregnant with my daughter when I got out. But I was like, I feel like I need to move on, start a different life. My grandparents are getting older. I want to be able to be there if something were to happen to them. And my kids, I want them to grow up in stability and not having to move around every 3 to 4 years.
Yeah. So overall, you had a positive experience in the Navy, like 100% positive? Like
no, like I would say like, I don't know, 70%.
All right, so what's the 30?
Yeah, let's get to the 30. Let's go, Madison. Let's go.
So, I'm not proud of some things I've done, but I did get in trouble a few times. One was in Charleston. It was on New Year's Eve. Me and about 6 or 7 other people, including my ex-husband at the time, we were doing a New Year's thing, and most of us were drinking, decided to take a drive to the back of the barracks. It was like a mile-long strip of back road.
Yeah.
Our friend was drunk and he was driving, wouldn't let us have the keys. So he said, whatever. 3 people sitting in the bed of the truck. The rest of us were sitting in the cab. We were headed back to the barracks. So it was around, 1 a.m. Decided to do 60 miles an hour on a dirt road. We slid off of the dirt road, hit the ditch, went up in the ditch, hit 3 trees, hit the last tree. Through one of our shipmates, my ex-husband got thrown out of the bed of the truck, and one of our shipmates got thrown about, half a mile into the woods, and he died.
Wow.
Yeah. So most of us ran except for a couple people. I ran myself because I was scared and I didn't see anything, so I didn't know what had happened. I was in shock. So I ran. Next day we got investigated by NCIS and got in trouble about 9 months later. And I actually got pregnant. I don't know. I was pregnant at the time that crash happened and I didn't know. So I got masted when I was 8 months pregnant.
Damn.
Yeah. So that happened in Charleston. And that actually, when I told you that my ex-husband was supposed to go greenside when he was transferring, they actually tried to get him in trouble a year later for underage drinking. So that's what paused his greenside orders to go with the Marines. And they were like, you got to pick your orders today because he can't go. I was like, okay. But that's why I went to the ship.
Damn, that's sad as hell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even like expecting.
I wouldn't expect me either.
Yeah, it's something I'm not proud of.
Yeah. Well, and the person who passed away was your a friend?
Yeah, it was a friend of all of ours. He was only 19. And first command as well. He's only been there for a couple months. He was a great dude.
Yeah.
And so some tragic. And the driver of the truck, he went to the brig for 2.5 years, and then they kicked him out.
Yeah. And how old were you at the time?
I was 19.
Was everybody drinking?
Mostly everybody. I wouldn't say like the driver was definitely drunk. Another person, 2 more people were definitely drunk. I wasn't drunk to the point to where like I didn't, I couldn't walk or nothing. I just had a few sips of the beer, but it still counts underage drinking.
Yeah.
And the person that was sitting beside me, the female, I actually think I saved her life because I told her that night, I was like, you need to find your seatbelt, because she wasn't going to wear a seatbelt. She was like, I don't have one. I was like, this truck has a seatbelt for you, so put it on in case we ever get into an accident. And so we got into an accident, and yeah.
Now, question for you, right? Because we talk about this all the time, and everybody was 18, 19 before. And you're 18, 19 somewhere, right? You could be 18, 19 in college. You could be 18, 19 in the street, or you could be 18, 19 in the Navy. And you're going to do 18, 19-year-old shit, right? Right? You don't mind if we curse, do you, Madison? Okay, all right. You're going to do 18, 19-year-old shit, right? So my question for you, though, is like you to us, right? Us as leaders, you as somebody who was recently a junior sailor, is it anything that you think that leaders can do to get ahead of underage drinking?
I don't know, because I feel like if they want to do it, they're still going to do it. No matter how many safety briefs you have, no matter how many conversations you have with them, no matter, how many people get DUIs, I think people are still going to do it. I necessarily, because on the ship, they always passed out like with these cards that you can call a number and they can come and pick you up. I forgot the name of it. I think those are really helpful, but trainings and talks continue to have them. Other than that, I think that, you guys try to prepare us for as much as you can. And then whatever we do with that information, the rest is on us. So I think you guys are doing a great job as it is.
Yeah. And I guess it's not always, and whatever you was going to say, hold it, because I want to hear it.
Sorry.
I guess it's not always like people been drinking before the Navy. Some of these people start drinking like because of their friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or they think it's cool, or they're like, oh yeah, I just want to, get in with a topic, or I just want to sit and chill, and then I have nothing else to do, so I just drink with you. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. What was it that you was about to say that you didn't get to say?
That, I think there's nothing you can really do to prepare people, for underage drinking or for incidents that happen. I think people are still going to do it regardless of how much you try to help them. If they really want to do it, I think they're going to do it.
Yeah. And I'm also assuming that like the influence of like great leadership is not more powerful than the influence of your peers.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be like, oh, my chief don't know what he's talking about. My HM1 or whoever, like, I'm smarter. They don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I'm fine. I could drive home.
Yeah.
It's always like that.
And you with your peers way more than you're with like a great leader, right? You with the great leader, maybe, depending on who it is, it could be like your CMC. You might have 20 minutes, like 20, like 1-to-1 minutes with your CMC in a week or something like that, where you got hundreds of, minutes with your friends, whatever it is y'all talk about and stuff like that.
But Damo, one more other thing too, man, is the fact that when you are 18 and 19, man, sometimes you feel invincible, right? You be like, hey, go ahead for my khakis to go ahead and put this stuff out. It's like a check in the box, right? It's like a check in the box. They said this, said that. Now I'm finna go out and do this. But it always, when it happened to me though, this ain't gonna happen to me. I heard this DUI over there. I heard they got in trouble over there. It's not gonna happen to me until it happened to you. Until it happened to you, man. So.
Yeah, then it just don't look as cool as it looked. It don't look as cool as it looked before, right? Like I said it before, like pissing in the middle of the building. Don't look
Now
that
when
cool.
you're out there getting massive in front of the CO.
Yeah, don't look that cool when you got to explain that to a bunch of chiefs at DRB. Man, it's like, hey,
On restriction.
Yeah, like no, I learned. You know, then it's always that at DRB too, Madison. It's like I learned, man. I learned. When did you learn? When you got caught? You know, it's like, oh man, like I got too much to lose. And I always tell people like, yo, like before you make a decision, think about what you got to lose, right? Before you do that. I was just telling somebody the other day, I do that now, right? I mean, I'll jump out the window still, but if I jump out the window, I can stand by it. Like I've decided that, I'm gonna die on this hill. And now for me, it's normally like, it would be for my sellers, right? Like I would engage with somebody in a way that they wouldn't expect, or I would do something, but it'd be for my sellers or the safety of my sellers. Probably and when you think about like Captain Crozier, what he did during, COVID or something like that, like something of that nature, I would do it and be able, and not saying I would do what Captain Crozier did for the Navy that's listening, but some of that nature, I would do it for the sake of my sellers and take whatever, comes along with it. What's the next thing, man? How many?
I got in trouble twice.
Twice.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next time was on the ship. I got in trouble for suspected fraternization. There was no proof of nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't get treated differently. Nothing. It's simply because me and my LPO, we didn't like each other. And I did disrespect a lot of the first classes that I worked with because they never knew what they were talking about. In my opinion, they did not know what they were talking about ever. And I couldn't stand it because they were just lost in the sauce 24/7. And so we constantly got into arguments. And I know every sailor's like, oh, well, it wasn't my fault. I take responsibility for this. This is, I had a lot of help to get where I was getting to.
Yeah.
But I got in trouble for that. And after I got in trouble, it was the second day we got on deployment, I got massed. Or I went to talk with the chiefs and the DRB. I didn't say anything. Went to XOI, went to Captain's Mast, got massed. So the CO cut me a break. It was like, I'm going to give you 45 days restriction where I don't have to do it. I forgot the name of it.
Suspension.
Suspended, yeah. And he suspended my 6 months pay. But if you get in trouble again, then you're going to go in restriction. And you're going to lose your rank. So I was HM3. Got MAPS in 2022. I was like, okay. Then I did something that I thought should have stayed within medical. So I left the medical desk because I work night shift. I went to go work out at around midnight-ish. One of my leaderships came down and was like, where's Farr at? And they came up, ran up to me, was like, yo, our leadership's looking for you. And I was like, what? Because they're supposed to watch the front desk phone.
Yeah.
In case somebody were to call. But I left.
It could be like an emergency, right?
Yeah. So I left because I was just like, I'm going to work out. I don't got nobody to watch the front desk because I usually do. Squadron is there with me working night as well.
Yeah.
Couldn't find anybody, so I came running down. They chewed me out. Told me to put my uniform back on. I was like, yes, chief. Next morning, down there illegal, signing the paperwork. Signed the paperwork, restriction. Went on restriction, lost my rank. My friends, so I was friends with Squadron on the ship. Those are my people in medical. They're like, let's take a picture the day that you have HM3 and the day after your HN. I was like, bet. So that's what they did. They took a picture where I had my rank and then lost it.
What an experience. That's a good experience, man.
So then went on restriction for 45 days. Oh, that was a rough 45 days. Then after that, I had a hard time with my OPO. Then I didn't get to go on the next Liberty after I got off my my restriction. After that, I scheduled an MWR. Okay. Didn't sign out of the Liberty log in my section because I didn't think I needed to going in the MWR tour. I was being serious. I didn't think I needed to because I'm going with a whole MWR group.
Yeah. I feel you.
And so I honestly didn't think so. I'm in the flight deck BDS on my phone, and one of my HM2s calls me and is like, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm on the ship." "Why?" They're like, "Well, you need to come down here right now." My LPO seen me in the hangar bay leaving to go to the MWR trip. Didn't say anything to me.
Yeah.
Waited till I came back on the ship, flipped through the delivery log in our section and was like, "Oh, I don't see her name." And then took it to my chief and was like, "Oh, she violated the Liberty Buddy policy. She got to stay on the ship." So what they did is they took it to the chiefs. I explained to my HM1, he wanted to talk to me about it. I explained to him. I said, "HM1, like, I promise you I did not know." He was like, "All right, I got you." He vouched for me to stay on the ship. He said she needed to be on the ship because she violated it. So I was stuck on the ship for a good 6 months, 7 months.
You was on thin ice in that division, huh?
It was so
Madison, you was going hard, Madison. You was gonna go.
Hey, so question: why didn't you talk at DRB?
Because I didn't think the chiefs would have cared what I had to say, because they had already told me in my investigation, when they were doing the investigation, that if it looks like it, then it is. And I had 20-ish people that were going against me in the investigation. They're like, "Well, how do you only have 10 people going with you and 20 against you? If there's more, then it's obviously, something's there."
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like there was a need, because no matter what, I knew I was still going to X or Y. So what's the point in explaining?
Was it something there?
No, because nothing happened on the ship. I never got treated differently. I did everything myself.
Did y'all have a relationship?
Well, we do now. Yeah, we're together. But on the ship.
Okay, so it was something there.
I thought you meant on the ship. Yeah, there was definitely something there.
Like I'm at DRB.
No, we're together now. So there was definitely something there, but work relationship wise, there wasn't. He never held my hand through anything. He never treated me differently. He wrote my evals as they should be. So I think that's where fraternization is kind of wronged, because we never kissed, held hands in front of people, stuff like that on the ship.
I mean, not everybody agrees with the frat policy, right? That's one of them things that that's one of those things that some people passionately got issues with is frat. It's this aspect that, love is love, you can't control it or whatever. And maybe if that happens, then let's figure out moves to make and stuff. I never really think about it like that. I've had an experience, myself. But I never really pay too much attention to how I feel about the policy. How do you feel about the policy, Damon?
Well, I think I tell you what, I think the biggest part about the policy that I do think about is what other people think. Right.
That was a big one for us.
That was the I think the biggest thing. Regardless if you are not doing anything, you're not holding hands, you're not doing anything, it's what that person thinks. Why you got a good evaluation. Oh, I know why she got a good evaluation. I think that part of it
perception's reality type of thing.
Yeah.
And no matter how much you think you're not doing, people know. No matter how slick you think,
Well, that's sorry.
I'm listening.
Oh, okay. That's the thing that we got told a lot is perception's reality. Watch out for everybody, because they're going to be gunning for you. That's a big thing. We're like, I don't care, because I know that we're not doing this in public. I know what we do, and I know that everything we do in the workspace is workspace related. And I didn't.
Totally. Bang on that table. I didn't on that table. Man.
I didn't think you could hear it. I'm so sorry.
But it's like leader. It's nerve wracking too. If you're in a leadership position doing it, the nerves of feeling like it's like a thin ice kind of thing. Feeling like either the person that you messing around with going to feel a certain kind of way. And depending on who it is, they might, depending on what it is that you do. And then also like the other people that might know or might not know or might suspect, the way they react, it's just such a hard thing. It's a hard thing to be a part of and thinking about on your conscience, like just every single word that you say, especially if it's like a same division kind of deal. Like I said, I've had a small experience, and it was, very, 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 like very nerve-wracking. Like,
yeah. When we did our investigation, everyone that did it didn't know that I would be able to see what they were saying. And I knew that I was going to be able to read everything based on the first time I got in trouble, because I could read everybody's interviews that they had. And so a few people did lie about what they seen.
And said they saw more things than they
saw us like kissing in the hallway or holding hands in the hallway, like the P-way at lunch. And I said, are they crazy? Why would we do that when we're in a line waiting for an hour for lunch?
Yeah.
I said, you're insane. And so then a few people did lie. And so I had my LPO and another ex-LPO. He was actually leaving soon. Their interviews were the same, side by side, same word for word, which I thought was the craziest thing ever. And she was the one that didn't like me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was hard for me after I got in trouble, because I'm like, how can I still work with these people that said these things about me? And some of them weren't true.
Yeah.
And so I did confront them. And they're like, what are you talking about?
What you mean confront?
Yeah.
Yo, Madison they messing around. We gotta start screening our guests, man. Madison. Fate, man.
I'm sorry.
No, you good.
I don't want nobody to talk to the E6 all crazy and stuff. But I was talking to my HM1s are crazy and stuff, because a lot of them were crazy. But a few of them were HM1s, and I was like, why did you talk to me? Like, why did you say this about me? And they're like, what are you talking about? I said, you talk about some crazy shit. I said, that didn't happen. And they're like, well, I was just saying what I thought was happening. I was like, okay. And and they were just shocked.
Yeah.
That sorry, I didn't mean to miss, but they were just shocked.
Yeah.
That I seen that
But y'all, so you got out. He stayed in.
He got out.
So y'all both got out.
Yeah.
After that command?
After a contract, yeah. It's a sad thing, because I think you guys had an episode about, 7 months ago, where you guys were talking about how sometimes I think you guys don't really agree that your chain of command can influence you in getting out or not. It's based on the sailor themselves. I think you guys were talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I disagree with that a little bit. I think the chain of command can definitely influence a sailor in staying or getting out, depending on the command.
Oh, you got it. Now you got to tell us what we was talking. I'm saying, because you got to tell us.
Me either.
No, because I remember I resonated with this episode so fully. I was like, I can see what they're coming from. But you guys were talking about how sometimes chain of command can make or break a sailor, and you guys didn't necessarily agree with that. The chain of command can break a sailor. It's based on the sailor themselves, like what they do, how they go about it.
Don't let them break you type shit.
Yeah.
That was how I'm interested in what Damon got, but that was nobody, right? So before I joined the Navy, my uncle, he gave me this story. He was like, don't let anybody make you mad. Right? Mm-hmm. He's like, don't let nobody dictate how you react or how you feel about something. So I kind of went into my experience in the Navy with that said. And I know it's different strokes for different folks and, all those things. So sometimes when I say that, I'm projecting. So for me, nobody could dictate my experience based off of who I am, right? I've always, in every environment that I've been in, found a way to lead. Even if I was in the back, even at Wendy's, you know what I mean? Like I found a way to lead some kind of way. So if I'm in Gotham City, I'm gonna clean that shit up. You know, no matter what rank or what age I am, if I'm in that bad environment, I'm gonna make it better or the way that I want it to be because I want to live my life on my terms. So that's kind of like my and I think Damon has something on that too.
Yeah, and my thing is I'm 50-50 on that, to be honest with you. But I'm leaning towards Damo a little bit. I mean, ain't nobody gonna like I'm not getting upset and going to make my determination on getting out by somebody else. But I have seen sailors in some horrible situations, you know what I mean, with their chain of command in their divisions, in their departments and stuff like that. And I'd be like, man, it's bad over there, you know? And then the other side of it is you got to think about like, if you on your first command and first ship and you have to do 5 years, right? And if you got to do 5 years on there and you've been on there for 3 and it's horrible, like it's kind of like, you know, you probably already made your mind up too, though, right? Hey, I'm getting out. I can't do this no more, right? So I do understand that too, that point of it. But I always say too, man, like, you know, every command is different too, though.
Yeah,
right?
And
At the same time.
Madison, before you say anything, my last thing, because I'm interested in like your rebuttal on how you felt about what we said in that episode 7 months ago. But before you say anything, my other thing is this that I think is underutilized from a bunch of sailors, period. Like, I can't live in filth. I was just telling one of my sailors just the other day, like, I'm not living in filth, right? So if it's fucked up and I could prove it, I'm going to prove it, right? So a lot of what I see now from, especially like, you know, especially a lot of sellers that reach out to us because we do the pod or whatever, is things that they might be struggling with, right? And they'd be like, yo, my first class is just fucking with me, you know, and it's like, it's unbearable, whatever. I'm like, well, did you talk to the chief? And they like, well, chief gotta know, you know? I'm like, yeah, but did you talk to the chief? Well, chief gotta know. Like, well, all right, so if chief knows, it's like, well, did you talk to your DLCP? Did you talk to your DLCPO? Well, the DLCPO went on it too. All right, well, did you talk to your CMC? And sometimes it's like, man, I ain't talked to the CMC yet. Or sometimes it is like, well, I did talk to the CMC. All right, what about your XO, your CO? Are they tracking? Like, all right, if they tracking, then did you do an IG? Like, did you? So I think like my thought process, a lot of us, man, don't know the processes by which you escalate these issues. So we live in this tyrannic fucking second class that's like fucking up your life every day and making you depressed when you could get this person, like if it's not like, hey, I just don't like this person because they like mean or something, but if you got tangible shit and these people are really fucked up, actions could be taken. I don't think a lot of sellers, I think some people be, and I'm gonna shut up in a second, I promise, but I think some people be like so loyal to the soil, like that they just living with the shit. Like they not trying to get nobody in trouble. Like I ain't trying to get my division in trouble or whatever. It's like, dude, like,
oh no, I'm trying to get people in trouble, you know?
Yeah. So what was your thing with all that, what we were saying though? I'm interested.
So when you asked if I ever had plans of getting out, I said no, because I didn't. And right before I got in trouble, I had already had a hard time on the ship as it was before I got in trouble. I was actually supposed to re-enlist. And the day before my re-enlistment date, I went to my senior chief. I said, senior, if I'm going to get in trouble for this and you know it's wrong, I'm canceling my re-enlistment and I'm getting out. I said, and I knew I was getting in trouble, cancel my re-enlistment. She was like, why are you canceling? I said, I already told you. I said, I'm getting in trouble. I'm out. I said, I had a hard time. Like nobody's helping me here. Yeah. And so they did, my chain of command was not that great. Senior chief loved her, but my HM1, my chief, they had a big influence on me getting out because it was already hard dealing with it and I already had another year to go and I just can't do it anymore. And I didn't want to have to go through that again. So I just decided to just ride it out and just to get out.
Yeah. Now
it's not what I wanted, but you know, I felt like I was better off.
But now you go to the command, right? So let's go back to you going to command, right? So you go to command And it's, a normal kind of inception into a command, like first day, month, whatever in a command. What's the moment where things get to where it's like, this ain't working. This ain't the thing that it should be?
The moment that my HM1 became my LPO.
How was it before that?
We had our IDC was actually our LPO. And typically IDCs aren't supposed to be an LPO on an aircraft carrier because they already have so much work to do. So we were just actually short in staff. So they made that they made him that position. And then she came in and she was actually supposed to be in dental at the time.
Yeah.
But they're like, we need another HM1. So she came in. She recently knew HM1. I knew people that knew her and they said she sucked beforehand. So I already kind of knew.
Yeah, but you don't know yet, right?
I don't know because she's the HM1. So we're going to ride it out and see.
Yeah.
But she just wasn't like the hard hitter HM1. She was like, oh, for sure. Like, I'll check it out. Never got back to you. Chits would sit on her desk for 2 months at a time. Never be looked at, never be signed. She just wasn't leading. And she wasn't taking care of, I know there's great chiefs and, great HM1s, but she wasn't the type of HM1 to take care of her sailors. She took care of herself.
Yeah.
She was trying to get herself to the next step, not her sailors. And that was the hard part for me because I didn't want to go to her for anything. Nothing.
And that was out the gate? Was that out the gate or did like...
It took months after she became first class. Because at first we had a few issues here and there, disagreements. Yeah. And a couple times I would kind of talk back to her. And then I would have to bring myself back down and I would be like, hey, H1, can we go talk? And then I would apologize to her and say that I apologize for doing this. I didn't mean any kind of way. I was just upset because of this and this. I apologized to her multiple times on multiple occasions throughout the next 6 months and nothing changed. She was still treating me differently than she treated other people. And also too, I think some of it was also based on my race. I don't think race is talked about enough either. But I do think some of it was based off of my race. And that's in my own opinion, just of what I witnessed for myself.
Yeah. So she was black?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But what our section needed was a hard-hitting HM1 who cared about the sailors, took care of them, wanted to do good. But the problem with promoting, I think the problem with having a new HM1 come in as straight in as an LPO and no like HM1 experience is stuff that I had to go through, not doing chits on time. She thought that she kind of didn't have to obey the regulation or the instructions. I remember one time she had white nails, like white fake nails on. And I'm pretty sure you can't have that. And when you have a shoe chit, I'm pretty sure, aren't your shoes supposed to be black? If in the instruction, aren't they supposed to be like solid black?
And when you gotta wear sneakers?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. No.
Really?
Yeah, not necessarily.
I thought they had to be black. Anyway, she had like bright, like Nike white shoes on, all white. And I thought that was crazy because I feel like as an H1, you should be the lead, the example, like of what you need to show your sailors. And she wasn't that. So I had a hard time with her. But it definitely took months after she became HM1.
So, Madison, quick question. So you had issues with the HM1. In your opinion, do you think the chief was in cahoots with that? Like, it wasn't nothing you guys can work out? Or did you bring it up to the chief level to try to get into that fixed?
I did. I talked to my chief and I was like, hey, chief, this is what's going on. Like, is there anything that you can maybe talk to her about, fix it? And after I talked to her, it kind of leveled out for a little bit, but then it just started happening again. But the problem was too, is that there wasn't like really anything to prove that she was like mistreating me. There wasn't like anything evidence that I could prove. So it's like, is she just making this up? She could be lying about this. And I feel like too is for the listeners, I feel like maybe they feel that way as well. Like nobody's going to believe me. Like, what's the point? Because I felt like that a lot of times.
Yeah.
So,
Now, did other people go through this stuff too?
For you, yeah. So I actually didn't know at the time, but one of my shipmates was going through the same issue, but with our chief. And this was a male. He was a Hispanic male that was going through the same thing, but with our chief. But not with her.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
No, what's up, Damon? I'm listening.
Yeah. One more question. Do you think that the fact that you were so much open with your back and forth with her, kind of instead of like pulling it, into the office and you guys have conversations, seems like some of your arguments may have been out in public. You think that played a part?
Yes, I do. Yeah, you said you're never doing it behind a closed door. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
you have to, right? I used to tell people all the time, like, yo, I don't care if you got an issue, right? But let's respectfully have an issue. Let's go somewhere and have a conversation. Because when we out in public, it's a lot happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
You caring about how people perceive you. She caring about how people perceive her. She also don't want nobody else to talk. She also don't want that to become a habit amongst everybody else. They see Madison talking a certain way, so then they gonna think they could talk.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of ego in the public, conversation. So you have to. I was in one before. Me and one of my friends, but I was the first. He was the second. And I consider him a friend of this day. But we were at work when we worked together, and he was. I think I talked about it on our pod. He had a seller that was, coming in. And I don't know, Damon, I think back in these days, like, no matter what rank you was, man, you was just leading to this other, like, just this extra choice. So he a second, I'm a first. It's his seller coming in. I'm like, yo, you supposed to give him the best 72-hour experience. So we had in the middle of a meeting. I'm like, yo, dog, you not checking them in right. You know what I mean? Like, he like, that ain't my job. Like, yo, that is your job. So now we flared up. Me and him, we going at it. So we like, all right, look, this is what we gonna do. You know what I mean? I was like, this is what we gonna do. We gonna talk about this after this. That's what we gonna do. We gonna talk about this after this. And, and this wasn't the we gonna talk about this after this, like, conservative joint. This we gonna go talk about this stuff. So we both go, like, you ever see like the video with the two dogs and they like at the gate, but the gate closed and they like barking at each other. Rah, rah, rah. Then the gate opened and like no smoke. That was us. Like we like, yeah, let's go talk about this. So then we go to talk about it, and then we actually talk about it. Like we actually figured it out and came to a conclusion or whatever like that. So yeah, Madison, like Damon said, I think it always make more sense to do that properly.
Yeah, because I knew a lot of times I made it worse for myself, and it was my fault because I would be the one to talk back to her, and I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not supposed to do that as a junior sailor to HM1. But I always apologized to her and tried to talk to her. But no matter how many times I did it, nothing changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? So like, what's up, Damon?
No. Go ahead. Go on.
I was just gonna ask, like, so what was it about you, Madison? Was you like just always ready for the smoke? Like,
kind of. Yeah. After a certain amount of time, I was, because I was this strong. I came in when boots running when I first got there. I was qualified all the way up to 312 is what I could be. I couldn't get I have a whole nother thing about airpins and ESWAS and everything. I have my own opinion about that.
All right, what is it?
Get it. But I was just this, like, I don't know. I was hardworking. I was really good at my job. And I also think she didn't like that about me because I wanted to go out and do more. I was volunteering. I was trying to be part of the JA. I was trying to do all this stuff, trying to promote to HM2. And I don't think she liked that either.
And I'm assuming that the command you came from, right? And it's just for the listeners and you, Madison, I know I'm just hearing your version of this experience, right? But I'm assuming that for the command you came from, it was a lot different than the carrier.
Oh, yeah, because I came straight from a clinic. So It was just all cupcake sales and bake sales and all that stuff. And I actually was never a part of that. I told my senior chief at the time, I was like, in order to promote to HM3, because HM3 was 0% when I was at the clinic. We couldn't promote to HM3. And I was like, if you want me to promote, I said, I'm not doing cupcake sales or bake sales. I said, that's for the birds. I said, I'll see you on the ship or somewhere. That's what I told him.
Madison wanted to smoke.
He said, thank you for your honesty. I said, you're welcome, senior, but I just can't do it. And, yeah. I was a good sailor, I promise. It doesn't sound like it, but I promise I was.
Well, everybody was though, right? But how would you grade yourself?
On a scale of 1 to 10 as a sailor?
A to F.
Ooh.
Probably
a C.
All right, C, right? So what would have got you to an A?
More listening, more or less talking back to my chain of command and my leadership. I definitely had a lot to improve and work on. And I also think just the environment that I was in, it was always a back and forth. So I was always on my toes. So it made everything worse. So I think if I would have just been taken out of the environment, it would have, I could have improved myself on the ship as it was. Because before I got in trouble, that's when I was trying to be involved in the command. I got all my qualifications. And then after I got in trouble, it just kind of went away. I had no motivation to do anything.
Did you
But I still continued to work my job and improve my work environment before I got there.
Did you feel like you let getting in trouble define you a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I be telling people to work against that too. Like, yo, don't.
So I did work against it. I felt like it definitely had influence on me, but I also tried not to let that get to me because I moved around in certain spaces. Because when you're in medical, you have different little sections that you work in.
Yeah.
So I definitely did move around in medical, and everywhere that I went, I made it a better place than where it was when I got it.
Yeah.
So I left it somewhere better. So, I continued to work my butt off, but the only difference is I didn't try to get involved into the command anymore. I didn't get any more qualifications. I didn't try to get into the JA, nothing like that.
Yeah.
It takes
there
a
was
toll.
no point. Yeah, there was no point I seen because I was like, I know I can't promote. So why does it matter?
Yeah,
I got thoughts. I think Damon was gonna say. I got a thought though. I think Damon was gonna say something though.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It could take a toll on you over time. Like especially when you hit the deck place and you running and you getting all these things and you doing great and the command and your leadership saying keep going, you're doing great, and then you hit that wall. That wall can define you either good or bad every time, right? It doesn't miss, right? So now you can be in a slump. Right? Like, and I tell you this too, and I also think this is a leadership thing also. Like when sailors get in trouble, right? That chain of command there to pick them up. Like they get in trouble. Okay, this happened. You're going to be held accountable. Now, where we going to go? How we going to move forward now? Right? That type of conversation needs to happen because a lot of times, especially when you up against it, it's like, man, I don't even care no more. Right? Like, especially what you said, you can't advance, you can't do this. So what am I doing right now? I'm just going to do my job and go home. Yeah.
I even had the mail, what was it? The mail PO where I distribute mail and get mail. I couldn't even hold that. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Steal somebody's social security out of their mail? I couldn't even hold that for a year because I got in trouble.
Yeah, I should have never let Damon talk because he made my point. like the point. I'm like, yo, David, you got it. I'm gonna shut up. But that was my point, man. It's a leadership thing, as well. When it comes to not letting it define you, you need people outside of yourself to show you that it doesn't define you. Like you said, losing we had an issue like that before with a sailor. It was a different place. It was like a semio thing. I talked about it on a podcast years ago, but the seller said something when it came to semio. The process was happening, and then there was a group of people talking about stripping them of certain positions. I think he was the JEA president. They just talk about stripping them of certain positions. I'm like, yo, but Like,
it's in the process. Nothing's even like done yet.
Yeah, the semio thing is the semio thing. Let's let that work, right? And whatever that does, it does it. Like starting to strip them of other shit don't got nothing to do with, the semio process and what's happening over there. Let's stop doing things like that. Like we just be canceling people. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you can't give out mail no more, man, because you did this and that. We can't do it, because then that makes somebody feel like lower than especially
oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, especially when you already went through NJP and you already got whatever the reward was from NJP, you got it. Like that's the process by which, and this is my opinion for like anybody listening, the process by which is NJP. Now it might be some other like big time thing that might be connected to whatever else you're doing, but for the most part, the process by which is NJP. If it is something other big connected to whatever you're doing, then you might not be able to do it. And like if your leadership came into question, and that's the reason why you went to NJP, maybe you shouldn't be leading. If you get fired from like your division as a chief, you probably shouldn't be the MWR chief. You know what I mean? Like it's probably, you probably need some time, out of leadership for a little bit. But some of the other stuff, we don't got to strip people of everything. That was all.
Yeah. I wish my my chain of command or my chief would have sat down with me and be like, I know you got in trouble, but it doesn't matter anymore. How can we move on? And this is what we can do. But they never did that. They kind of just like forgot about me.
Yeah.
And it still makes me feel some type of way about it.
Mm-hmm.
But it made me, at the time I didn't care on the ship, because I'm like, they forgot about me, then they're not going to care what I do as long as I work and they leave me alone. Like that's okay. But it just kind of sucks, because I think with me getting in trouble my first time and my second time, I've noticed that my chain of command in both situations, they kind of berated me for getting in trouble for the certain things I did. And then they just forgot about me. Yeah. And I think more leadership needs to sit down with their sailors and be like, I know you got in trouble, but how can we continue on in a better way? Because it also made me feel some type of way after my NJP when they're like, you can't promote, you can't hold these collaterals, you can't do none of this because you got in trouble. But we don't want that to hinder you. But it's going to hinder me, because how do you expect it not to? When I can't hold any collateral, can't have all these extra things, can't be part of a certain cabinet in JA. Like, it's not fair. Especially for a year. A year for a lot of stuff is a long time for a sailor.
Yeah. We got to be a part of the rebuilding process after you get broken down from the NJP process. We got to rebuild and let you know, like, especially like you said, we do say that, like, yo, don't let this define you, But you gotta get that up.
Hey, Madison, you know why, when Damo we talk about the rebuilding process. The reason for that is, though, because we need sailors as leaders, right? Mm-hmm. We need sailors, right? So we have to, come back in a new, come from a different direction and say things, to get you back on the path, right? Because if every sailor get in trouble and we just push him to the side, man, how much work we getting done? You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I just wish more chiefs and more leadership did that. Yeah. Instead of just forgetting about their sailors, because often they forget about their sailors, and the sailors was like, well, I just don't know what to do with my life anymore. And a lot of them, want to commit suicide and stuff like that because they're just forgotten about, and it's just such a hard time, and they feel like they have nobody else.
Hey,
go ahead.
No, it's just real quick, Madison. You ever heard of trigger warning? The term trigger warning?
Yes, I apologize.
You be hitting me hard, but I'll be like,
I'm so sorry.
Damn. No, you good.
I'm so sorry.
I just mess with you. What did you say, Damon?
Also, I want to say this, though, for all the listeners out there, man, Madison said a couple times now she wished, the chain of command did more. That was her chain of command, right? It's a lot of chain of commands out there, I'm hoping, that's doing great things out there, that are taking care of their sailors the right way, and then lifting them up and things like that. So this is a chain of command that Madison had. on what she was in.
I'm a come in on that too, Damon. It's the world we live in, where you get different flavors of everything, right? I've seen leadership, even at a leadership level, that I don't think always has the best interest of their sellers at heart, right?
Yeah.
I've seen leadership at a leadership level that does as well, right? I just recently had, man, one of the somebody that I care deeply about who listens to the podcast, and I'm not going to put too much business out there, but that I know is a stellar seller, like a damn near 5-0 seller from as a first class, but now a chief, and has held on to a collateral for like 2 years, and can't handle it anymore. Like, can't do it anymore. I'm not going to say too much about it, but it is on a carrier, but just can't do it anymore, and has communicated it up and up and up and up, and it seems like just keep getting the like, nah, just keep holding it, almost at the end of the tunnel, because people might not want to make other people do the shit. So and we get those from chiefs. We get those messages from chiefs a lot that's dealing with issues, like some of them dealing with issues at their command, and some of these things to me, like easy fixes, and it just start with just caring about people, right? We recently had a seller, like just recently, and I'll get this up just a little bit, right? One of my sellers yesterday was dealing with some issue with a ord mod and orders and just things, right? And we were able to take care of it. And it's not an indictment against anybody. I'm not judging nobody. We able to take care of it. We fixed it. By the time we got it taken care of, the seller was gone, right? So seller's gone by the time we get it taken care of. Madison, I think you know this already. I'm the CMC, right, at the command, right? By the time we figure this out, seller's gone. It's about 1,800, right? And all of this stuff is like time critical stuff. Now, my day was impacted by like the next alligator. Damon, I don't know, you know this, but where I work at every day, especially on Friday, it's a fire and another fire. And as soon as you put that out, it's another fire and another fire, another. So my whole day was impacted by fire after fire after fire after fire after fire. So by 1,800, I'm at the gas station. I got my daughter with me, just came from daycare. And I'm like, earlier in the day, I'm like, I hope that somebody circles back to the seller and just let him know we fixed the issue. Because he seemed very concerned about it in the morning. So I called him. I'm like, hey, he happened to be at HM as well. I'm like, hey, Doc, CMC, I just wanted to tell you that your order mod posted, like, I told him whatever. And I'm like, did you know already? I'm sorry to bother you if you knew. And he didn't know. So, nobody told him. And he was like, yo, CMC, I'm so glad you told. And again, it's not an indictment against any, because people different. Like, my style of leadership is different. You know what I mean? But he came and talked to me personally in the morning, and I saw his face, and I knew he was really concerned about his situation that he was in. So I called him, and he was like, yo, my wife was just about to do something like with the kids. Like, I literally stopped something from happening because they were worried about whatever this was that was happening. He was like, yo, I appreciate it. Boom, boom, boom. So that's just me with the second order of action of like, let me make sure this seller know what's going on. Cause boom. And not to pat myself on the back, but it's different styles. Like, not everybody is like that.
Yeah.
Not everybody is like that.
You have good leaders and you have bad leaders, but you never know.
Yeah. And I mean, and some people don't know some people don't really know what's good or bad, right?
And some people are never taught.
Yeah, and we don't have, we talked about this with D-Gus a while ago. It's no real measuring stick, on like the different styles,
Mm-hmm.
Some things you might do just might work for you, and where you are at the moment. Like, I might have to go somewhere else and do something different. At my last command, I would personally call the sailors and wish them luck on the exam. Right? Like, before they took the exam, I would call them on the phone. I can't do that here. It's just a different style of, command. So you got to do something different. But, and then to circle back to whatever Damon was saying is, I I think it's unfortunate that is that much of a variation. Like a sailor could go through an entire career and be like, yo, the Navy sucked, and really it was just their small vacuum of an experience they went in. Where I never had, like me personally.
Yeah.
When I look back now and I say I had a great experience, but if I really look back and if I would have got out after 8 years, the command I was at, I could have had a lot to complain about. I used to go home and bitch to my mom on the way home every single day. You know what I mean? What's some of the good moments for you, Madison?
Good moments? I guess like meeting all the people that, I would have met if I never joined. Squadron on the ship really, I would say, saved my life. They were my best friends. And then Charleston, really loved Charleston. Got to live down there. Yeah. Great piece of South Carolina. Loved it. Great moments. Met my ex-husband and my current husband. Have kids. Great kids. Mm-hmm. Besides the craziness that you hear. I do want to touch on like a funny part of me checking into my very first command. I came from Quantico and I'm officially checking in. Packed up. I got a Tahoe. Everything's packed up. My sea bag is in the bottom of my car. And I got my whites on, but I don't have my neckerchief or my cover. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm digging through my sea bag. I have like 5 minutes. Get out of my car. No cover, no neckerchief. Somebody had to tell me halfway through the walk, hey, sailor, you're missing your neckerchief and your cover. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Go back to my car, put my neckerchief on, still forgot my cover. Damn. I go back and get it. Then I'm like, okay, I finally got everything. Walking halfway through the walk, I'm so nervous. I saluted Chief because I thought they're officer. I was like, oh my goodness. And he just looked at me like I was crazy. Yeah. Walked in and I walked in and I thought I had cut my hair short enough, but I didn't. So it was a little bit out of regs. Mm-hmm. So my new shipmates had to braid my hair for me so it was short enough so I could check in the correct way and not be all messed up.
They said, come here, girl. Come here, girl. Let's get you right, girl.
They was looking out for you. That's good stuff.
Yeah. And then when I checked in on the ship, I had my ribbons flipped upside down on my blues. So I was looking all kinds of fucked up when I checked in.
What's your issue with Eastwas in there?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think an E4 with an EP and E5 and above should be the only ones to get it. That's my thing.
What's your reasoning? What's up?
Because so I guess if I was only supposed to be on the ship for 3 years and there's so many of us. So it took me about a year and a half to maybe 2 years to even get an EP. So that leaves me with a year to get it. Yeah. And I don't even think I'm eligible then at that point. So then I went through my entire career on the ship without even being able to get it. And there's you have all these other rates who have, 20, 30 people in one division. So how are they going to be able to get it if they're on a ship for 3-4 years?
I mean, you would have stayed on a ship longer though, had you not gotten out, right?
No, only 3 years was my contract.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got thought. So what about learning your rate?
So it only took me a year to learn it. I was already qualified up to 312, year and a half. See? But you have E5s that are checking in 6 months and they're able to get it. You see what I'm saying?
It took you a year to learn your rate. What you mean by that?
It took me a year to learn everything on the ship because I already know what my job is, but it took me a year to learn everything what I needed to know.
Like the master, the rate?
It's not hard. Is that hard on the ship in medical?
I mean, shit, I don't know.
It's just paperwork I did, but basically it's just sick call and paperwork.
Yeah. I mean, could you not, it's a carrier, so I'm not sure, but could you not?
I mean, you have medical records, you have sick call, you have where you do the flight tech physicals. And the clinic before that, it kind of already set me up because I knew how to do records and physicals. Yeah. Sick call, piece of cake. And the rest of it wasn't anything. It's just the maintenance part that I had to learn.
Yeah. So when I went through to get my Eastwas, that wasn't a rule. like I was able to get my ESWAS within the first year, right?
Yeah, I think they changed it, in 2021?
At some year,
2022?
at some year, you asking me questions that I don't want to be like my man last week. You know, I want to be like Troy. You know, you ask me questions I can't necessarily answer factually, right? But so I got mine early. But I got mine early. So for the listeners that be like, well, who the fuck do you think you are? But I got mine early. But I will argue that, and maybe I can't because I got mine early and it didn't have a negative impact on me. But I would argue some of the thought process and concept in there is to make sure, and again, all rates ain't the same, but it would be to make sure that you, because it takes time. Right? You got to study for it. You got to focus on it and stuff like that. But damn, they don't even take the advancement exam anymore anyway. But I think it'd be like to kind of make sure that you learning your rate. You know, you learning your rate. You getting kind of assimilated to the command. You are indoctrinated to your command. You learning the job. You getting your DC stuff you're supposed to get and all those things. And then like you should be at about a year when you get all those things and should be fine. But like I said, who am I to talk? I got mine within the first year at my command. What's your take on that, Damon?
Yeah, I got mine early too. So I was like an E2. I was like an E2 or something when I got mine. But
Yeah.
I will say this though, it's benefits to it. And I also think, Madison, just for your point you was making, if you are killing it at your job, you got all your quals and stuff up, most of the time during that time period, you're probably going to be an EP, right? When it all comes up, if you kicking butt like that and everything is going to plans, most of the time you could possibly be an EP. But it's always exceptions to everything, right? It's always gonna be those sailors that's out there that's gonna be like way advanced in this stuff and kicking ass and sitting back like, man, why I can't do this, right? So I know it's gonna be some like that. But I think the Navy did have an issue when they changed that plan though. Sailors at one point was coming on board the ship to get their ESWAS pin, right?
Yeah, I was explaining that, yeah.
Yeah, time they get there, you know, they weren't worried about knowing their job. They weren't worried about being a technician at this. They was worried about getting that eye candy on their chest. You know what I mean? So I think that played a part.
And extra weight on like boards and shit.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think that should weigh anything for an apprentice. Like an apprentice, the work you do should be like the weight of your grading value, right? I don't want to say your value because I don't want people to feel like you're only value to the work you do. But when you that junior, like I'm looking at like your output, and that might be based off of my generation, you know? But I want like what you got as you get more senior, then I want to see you in leaderships. You were the president of MWR. You were this, you were that. But while you junior, man, like, did you fix this? Can you fix that? I mean, you were the HM. It's a little different, right? But like, I was an engineer, electrician. So
we still did maintenance, believe it or not. We had maintenance on
the refrigerator.
God,
the undercounter.
No, but we had to put, what are those, the tickets where we had to, what are they called? I forgot the name of them.
I don't know. What was
it? The DCPO stuff where you had to hang the tickets up.
Tags? Danger
we
tags?
had to do the tags too. We had to do that.
Well, for what, y'all, fan? The fan call you?
Battle ladders or something? I don't
Everything.
Battle ladders. That's it. Fans and battle ladders. That's all y'all had, right? But question for you though, because you worked at MEPS for a little bit, right?
I still work at MEPS actually.
Oh, so how's that? How's working at MEPS?
It's fascinating to see how like the ins and out work before like trying to get them to the military. Working with recruiters, with people who work there. We work beside military as well. So it's pretty cool.
I assume you see a lot of. It's funny because I got this whole recruiter expose that I'm gonna do, but it ain't gonna be till after I get out the Navy, man. I'm gonna go underground, man, and I'm gonna definitely like expose the dirty side of recruit. I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and she was last week. She was like, my recruiter lied. Well, told me to lie. It's like told you to lie.
When you have an E3 ABH, then like I would expect them to lie to get you in, you know?
Like they told me to lie about my asthma. They told me to lie about my I'm anemic. They told me to lie about my anxiety. They told me to lie. I'm like, damn. They told you to lie about everything. And me and her, we got like a humorous kind of connection. So, you come talk and we talk about things. I'm like, damn, these recruiters lying like that. But how's it working at MEPS? Do you ever see the dark side of it at all? You don't tell us if you do. Don't tell us.
Like what's like the dark side? Like what do you think it is?
Corruption to get people into the Navy?
I mean, yeah, people tell us all the time. They're like, yeah, my recruiter told me not to say certain things or write certain things. And we're like, no, you got to tell us everything. Because like we need to know.
Yeah.
So what it's like for you, right? Because you were a sailor. Now you're watching these younger people come in and about to go into the military and all of that. Like, what do you see in that? Like, does that make you feel anything watching them?
What I make sure to tell them is do your research. Mm-hmm. Don't listen to nobody else. Don't listen to people sitting beside you. Do your own research. Make sure it's the job that you truly want to do. And read your paperwork that you're signing before you do anything. My recruiter never really lied to me, I guess. But I know other people had their experiences, so I make sure to tell them what they need to know because nobody's gonna tell them that.
Yeah. All right. Well, so you familiar with our Do Better segment, right, Madison?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I got to do better this week. So we started Hero of the Month back up. We haven't done them this year just because guests and all that. We started the movies back, and I did watch The Rip. So I do plan to review The Rip, right? Like, and that's the best name that it could be. But I do plan to review The Rip. But my do better, and I don't know if Damon got one, but my do better is we gotta make sure that like we hold in a standard when it come to safety on these installations, man. Like, so real quick, I go through the gate and I give my ID to the person that's manning the gate, and the person scans the ID. Don't look at the scanner, don't look at me, and don't look at the ID. Just scans the ID and says, have a good day. I'm like, you don't know who the hell just came on your base. So then I go talk to my skipper about it, and I'm like, yo, I just went through the gate, man. And this dude scanned my ID and ain't look at nothing. He was like, you must got the same dude that I had yesterday. And maybe it's just that dude. I know Gary Owen, the comedian, said he was stationed where I'm stationed at before. He was an MA and he didn't scan. He didn't look at people. He just let anybody through too, right? So, hey, we got to do better with that, yo. If you standing on the gate, I know it's a rush hour, it's people coming in, but you have to keep that base secure, yo. It's a military base. We got sellers going missing. And some of this don't have nothing to do with some of that, but we got sellers going missing. We got sellers being found dead. We got like all these things happening, man. Make sure that we keeping like military service members secure on our installations, please. So that was my do better.
Yeah, man. My do better is for sailors, man. I need all the sailors, man, to care about their careers, man, as much as I care about their careers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like
something happened, man.
Yeah,
something happened this week.
So show me the same energy I'm showing you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do my due diligence. You know what I mean? I'm going to help you out as much as possible, but I want you to do the same for yourself also. That's all. It's my do better, man. Just, do your thing, man. Do your thing. Yeah.
You got one, Madison?
I would say my do better is to, continue to try to be a better coworker in MEPS and try to get rid of the Navy ideology that, I haven't ingrained in my brain.
Hold on, Madison, hold on, Madison. You said you trying right now to be a better coworker. Like right now you having you going hard in MEPS right now.
Yeah. What's happening? What you doing over there?
Madison.
Nothing's happening. It's sometimes it's hard to like get rid of what's engraved in your brain, like through the Navy, and get better, like, and revert to the civilian side. Because I'm like Navy, because we're in a military facility.
Yeah.
But I'm working with all civilians and, a few HMs still. And I have to remember that I'm no longer a sailor. So I'm trying to be the civilian worker now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Madison, I know you out now. Do you think is anything that, from a Navy standpoint, that we can do better?
A lot. Off the top of my head, I think sometimes leadership needs to be less judgmental against sailors in certain, if they do something wrong, they just need to be like, how can I help you? Or like, what can we do? Basically going back to like what happened with me in my instances, there's been so many people that's been judgmental within leadership. And I think there needs to be less of that.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have a problem with accountability. You just have a problem with like the after, okay, it's over. Let's move on. Okay. I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So here, you graded yourself as a seller, right? Since we both belong in the Chiefs mess, right? Can you give the Chiefs mess a grade based off of your experience and I guess like your peers and your friends? How would you grade the Chiefs mess?
Oh man, Chiefs mess. I think it just depends on the situation. Chiefs mess, I would say, I don't know, like a B plus, maybe B.
So, in your experience, your Chiefs mess was a B plus. Like from throughout the duration of your career, from your experience, the Chiefs mess was a B plus.
I think a lot of Chiefs were good Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I never had any issues with them, but you know how junior sailors are. Old Chiefs mess, they don't care about nobody but themselves. Like they're like a cult within themselves type of thing. I've heard that before. But I never really had a problem with them. I would say one thing that I don't know if I truly agree on it is when we do DRBs. Why does there have to be 50 Chiefs and half of them are the Chiefs? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it for that. That's just from my point of view. Because that's also why I didn't feel like speaking out, because why do I need to tell my story to people that don't even know me?
Yeah, what you thought was going to happen if you spoke out?
Yeah, we need judgmental, They'll be
Nope.
I want no part of it.
Out of here as quickly as possible. I'm not trying to get.
I spent 2 minutes in there and was out.
Yeah, I just did DRB and that's really the only play. Like a CO might, come off the top rope for like 2 minutes or something when they talking to you, XO too, but. The DRB, man, like it could be just bullet after bullet after bullet after bullet. And your whole life is now flashing in front of your face and the decisions that you made and, all that stuff, man. But sometimes, depending on what it is, and I'm not saying that like it's a rarity, it's a lot of times where even in that room, those people really do care about the sailors. Right. And it's me saying it from being in that room. Right. So I know some junior sellers is like, that's a fucking lie. Right. But me saying it from my perspective is even in that room, is people that care and they gonna, no matter what, a lot of young sellers, they do a lot to get away from why they in there. Right. Like, I was going through this, I was going through that. I haven't talked to my dad in like 8 months, whatever. And it's like, yeah. You're in here because you fucking bust the windows out of the Walmart. Whatever. Like, we gotta hold you accountable for that, right? But a lot of times, like even when that seller leave the room, it's like, hey, let's make sure that this person get the help they need in this regard, and we do this and we do that, we do that, and then hopefully you do have somebody follow up with you to make sure you good to go, because people really do care that sellers have. We want. Like from my perspective, we want to build the Navy into a better place than it was when we got here. We want to build up our sellers and be better. We know people going to fuck up. We know people going to do the wrong thing. And we also know DRB is a part of that process, right? So we got to do it. We got to be there. And hopefully we can make you better through it, And that's again, like I said, that's me and my perspective, I want to get back to a couple of things, I want to get back to a couple things with you, but I want to veer off for like a couple seconds. Damon, are you familiar with and Madison, are y'all familiar with what's happening with this whole tenderism situation and Destination Barbecue?
No. No.
I have seen a couple things, but I'm not like.
All right,
Tenderism, like where like falls off the bone type of thing.
Yeah. But it's a whole nother thing because Keith Lee went there. But if y'all not tracking, I'm going to leave that. For the listeners, if you heard that and was hoping you heard something, hopefully we do talk about it soon, but I'm probably not on the same page as some of y'all. I just think, I'm not even going to talk about it. The Rip. Did you see the movie The Rip, Damon?
Yes.
All right. Did you see The Rip, Madison? Do you watch movies?
No. I do watch movies, but I have not seen that one.
What's the last movie you watched?
Ooh, the new Tron movie.
What you thought about? I fell asleep on that like 8 minutes in. I bought it for $25. Fell asleep on it like 20 minutes.
I waited until it came out.
Wake up and watch it again. Like I did not say, hey, I'm gonna get my money's worth out of this. Like
I think it's a little slow at the beginning, but I think it's good.
Yeah. So The Rip was Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Tiana was in it, and Steven Yeun.
I did watch that one. I didn't know that's the name of it, but I did watch it.
Yeah, I did not like it. I expected way more. I thought I was going to get like a fucking The Town level type of movie with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and then Tiana coming off of her Golden Globe, and Steven always does good. I ain't like it. I thought the movie was decent in the beginning. Then I thought they just try to twist their way out of the movie at the end. Like this one scene in an armored truck, and like y'all throw 18 twists in that one scene. Like, yo, that was you. It was you. Who was the guy? Like, it was you. I knew it all along. I caught him 4 hours ago and told him like this was a setup. I just thought that shit was weak. But,
I like the movie, man. You know,
sure
but I like I like the plot though, man. I think it was a good plot. I did like the twist was kind of crazy to me. I tell you what, I like the movies that it hit me with that unexpected shit. I wasn't expecting what came out, what transpired, but I thought it was a good movie. And I ain't saying it was great or it wasn't like Sinner or nothing like that. No movie like that, man. But it was a good movie, man.
You ain't get like twist overload, like I thought it was you. No, but I told you it wasn't me.
Yeah,
when we was acting like we was fighting, I picked your pocket.
That was crazy. Yeah. The truck scene was crazy. The back of the truck was crazy. It was
like 35 twists in one little scene.
Yeah, man. It was a lot going on right there. No bullshit. It was a lot going on in that scene. Yeah.
Did you like the movie, Madison?
I think it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was okay. It wasn't the best movie I've ever seen, but it was okay.
Yeah. And Tiana said something early in the movie. She said something early in the movie that I heard. I forgot what she said, but I heard it in like the neighborhood, bro. Like just the regular, like the streets, bro. Whatever she said, I'm like, yo, this don't feel like nothing, yo.
Yeah. But her part was kind of like that though, man. Like her whole, it was just like, she just like, there's a street, like the way she was talking, it was like,
what are we doing? All right, let's talk. Let's go, Damon. Let's go real quick. You saw Sinners, Madison?
I did.
All right, come on, Damon. Let's go.
No, so I'll talk. I throw a little comment in there because last pod we did together, not the last one, the one before that. We was talking about the
listeners don't know the comment.
Okay, the comment is the center got a record for nominations for the Oscars, and I put in there pretty good, for a vampire movie, Damo, right? Mm-hmm. Because Damo movie, Damo, what's the name of it again? Well, I forget. With DiCaprio.
One battle after another?
One battle after another, right? So it did good, and Damo was talking about it, and he was like, he kind of said something to the lines of, I won't put words in your mouth, something to the line of like,
you can.
A vampire movie is not going to win this or win something like that, Damo said. And then that's why I throw that comment in there. They got 16, a record-breaking 16 nominations. I was like, pretty good for a vampire movie, right? So that's where that comment come from. Now,
keep going.
With all that said,
I think that smoke. So I'm listening.
Yeah. So with all that being said, I think this movie with those nominations and the hype that's coming behind it when people talking about it, I think they finna do very well. I think they finna win some of these nominations for center. And I told you before, Damo, I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie. Right,
one battle after another.
One battle after another. I wasn't a big. I thought I needed more from that movie.
It won all the biggest awards.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It did. Yeah, I know, Damo. I know, but that was my. So I didn't have no like real smoke for you, Damo.
I took that as smoke. But look, this what I'm gonna do. I only have. I'm gonna respond with one thing of smoke because you deserve it, right? You deserve the one thing of smoke. So I gotta respond with it. My one thing of smoke. My one smoke response, right?
Yeah,
is where was the energy when I was saying that last week? Why'd you wait till the nominations came out to try to say something slick? That's my one smoke, right? But like, so here's my smoke. And hey, I'm glad you get to sit with us through this, Madison. It's not like a Madison thing, but it's a PTSF thing. So this is my rebuttal to that conversation. And some of it is also like to like social media, because I'll be on it and stuff like that. So this is my first one. Now I think I would take little jabs at you throughout.
Yeah. Go ahead,
but, I want to make something real clear, because we live in a time where if you got a criticism about something, people call it hate, right? Like you can't have one issue with something nowadays without people saying you don't like it. And that's not the case for me when it comes to Sinners. My next point is, remember when Golden State had the Splash Brothers era?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember this person when like Steph Curry and like
Klay
the
Thompson.
whole Splash Brothers and Clay, and they was like Golden State was like the team to beat? When this happened, it was a bunch of new fans that came out of nowhere, and you had to like debate basketball with people who really didn't know nothing about basketball. It was like YN1 now. She is dressed in all this Steph Curry shit and watching the championship game and don't know nothing about it, right? And that just happened to be Golden State fan. Now they sleep somewhere, right? Just like the Patriots fans just woke up out of nowhere. They was in hibernation for like
I know where Dumbo
6
going
months.
with this. I know where he going with this.
Right?
Go ahead, Dumbo. Go ahead.
Or like, Eminem, right? Eminem is another example. Mm-hmm. I love hip hop and I love Eminem. If I was to go off of like my favorite artists from all times, Eminem would be the favorite amongst all my favorites, right? But that's how I feel right now in this era, talking about movies with people on the internet, that never talked about movies before. Right now, you got Sinners brought in a new audience of people to talk about movies. Like, I'm not debating football with Damon. That's not my playing field. You know what I mean? So my disdain about Sinners against One Battle After Another was never to the movie. It was more to like the newfound award season experts. Like now everybody know about the Oscars and the Golden Globes and all this stuff, to where they watch a movie like Marty Supreme and be like, yo, that movie was boring. Like, what? My next piece is this, and it's going to be a little long-winded, Madison, but my next piece is this. Ryan Coogler. I love Ryan Coogler. From Fruitville Station until now, Ryan Coogler is one of the like directors that if he makes a movie, I'm there the first day, right? Ryan Coogler also seems like a company man. Like Ryan Coogler also comes across as a person that does the work. He puts in what he needs to put in to be in the rooms that he needs to be in and be appreciated in the ways that he is, right? Not everybody does that. Right. So Ryan Coogler does that. I watched all his technical content about this film, like all his artist-to-artist interviews. And I think Ryan Coogler is one of the most important directors of our time. Right. And I also think he gets what he wants from movie studios right now. And here's why I think Ryan Coogler is one of the most important directors of our time. Right. And this a little bit of a black thing. Right. Ryan Coogler could get black people out to watch movies about like not eating together at a fucking, dinner table, or that's not like a rom-com or something like that. He got us out watching a genre movie, a vampire movie, right? He had us out watching a superhero in the movies, right? We don't have those movies, right? I don't know if you noticed that, Madison, but it's not a lot of like black superhero movies, are not a lot of black vampire movies. They just don't exist, right? So, but Ryan Coogler could do that with like at the height of like his abilities, at the height of having a technical team to be able to do this and actually have us like an expand audience, right? He got all races. It's not just, black people going to see the Ryan Coogler movie. It's all races. You got white people, black, whoever, right? But he's able to do this, but get us out. If Ryan Coogler don't make a fucking movie, it's no other big box office movie last year that gets like, that's primarily made by African Americans to get African Americans to go watch. It's not one. Like Sinners is the only one. You know what I mean? It was years where like a Friday would come out the same year as another one, or like Eddie Murphy and Martin would have a movie and Will Smith. Sinners is the only one, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So I love that about Ryan Coogler. It's not Menace to Society. It's not Belly. It's not that. It's a fucking genre movie. Like, so I love Ryan Coogler and I love that he's able to do that, right? Sinners is good. It's a really good movie. It's great. When the teaser first came out, before they told us it was a vampire movie, I wanted to see it. Like when it said the name Ryan Coogler, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go see this. Right. I never said it wouldn't be nominated. Right, Damon? That's another little kickback. I never said it wouldn't be nominated for anything. Did I think that it would break the nomination record? I didn't necessarily think it would break the nomination record, but also when you think about it, it's no way that it can't, because it's a movie that people acted well in. It's a movie that was directed well in. And then, oh, by the way, it's a movie that's based off of music. So now you have craft awards that you could easily put that in. It's a period piece. It's about back in the day. So you got costume awards and you got makeup awards. But it's a horror movie. So you still got makeup awards. So all of those craft awards that you would expect a genre movie to be nominated for, it was nominated for the craft awards. But again, like I said, soundtrack and sound. But the ones that I honestly didn't expect would be like the best picture, right? Best picture. I could see him getting best director, but I didn't see Sinners being nominated for best picture. And if it won, that's crazy, right? But like I said, that movie covers a bunch of ground. Do I see the Oscars kind of pandering a little bit? I got my own issue with when movies, culturally relevant movies to like African Americans come out that are like decent and how they get clamored by like pop culture. I have my own opinion about that I'm not going to share, but I saw this happen with Get Out, and I never thought Get Out was even that good, but I'm going to leave that alone. My other one is, so there's some of the rebuttal now, Damon. It's how often do you follow the Academy Awards? If so, this is rare. So like you said, Damon, when you said not bad for a vampire movie, you're right? Sinners is the third vampire movie to ever be nominated, ever, right? So when I'm talking about the Academy Awards, I'm talking from the experience of, again, like I said, somebody who's familiar with the Academy Awards. It's been 30 years since a vampire movie was nominated for an award, right? 30 years. So yes, I'm surprised the vampire movie was nominated so heavily, but not surprised that a Coogler movie was. And then on top of this, right, because we talking genre, another point was the lady from Weapons. You saw Weapons, Damon? You ain't seen Weapons?
It's
Did
good.
you see
No,
Weapons,
I see it.
I did not. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I see it on here. I see it on here as one of the, they got some.
Yo, watch Weapons.
I'm gonna watch it.
It's about a witch. Well, in the previews, like, you kind of gave it up a little bit. In the previews, like a bunch of kids disappear from like from their homes at like 1 a.m. Like they all just run out of their house and they trying to figure out what the hell happened. Right. That's how the previews were. Weapons is amazing. But watching the lady from Weapons, but it's a horror movie. So watching the lady from Weapons be nominated for Best Supporting Actress, which I think she did a better job than Tiana did on One Battle After Another. I feel like if Tiana wins the Oscar, that's robbing somebody that should win over her. I think you stop it at the Golden Globes. Like, you got it, Tiana. But if she wins this Oscar, that's crazy to me. Because Tiana, what's up?
I do got one question.
actor in a leading role, right?
Yeah.
Why do I think Sean Penn stole some of that from Leonardo? What do you think about that?
It's the bill. Leo is the lead actor.
He's the lead actor. Okay.
Sean Penn was a supporting actor. Now both of them, Sean Penn and what's the name Benicio got nominated for that film. But they both got nominated. I mean, One Bad After Another got 13 nominations.
You
know what I mean? It wasn't chump. You know what I mean? It wasn't no vampires. So, but my last question is this. My last kind of thought is this. Does this mark a new beginning for the Oscars, with the lady from Weapons also being nominated for a genre film, which was horror? Or is Coogler and his team an exception to the rule? Or is Sinners just that good? Right? That's kind of like my conclusion to all of those things. And we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens at the Oscars. I'm confident that Sinners will take home eight, at least half of them. It's other movies that you kind of like. F1 should win the editing award, maybe, or one of the sound awards. And F1 was a good movie too, and it's also nominated for Movie of the Year or Best Picture. I haven't seen Hamnet yet. I haven't seen Marty Supreme yet. It's a lot. I haven't seen Sentimental Value yet. They got two actors nominated for Best Actress. But again, you hear how I'm talking about this, Damon? Like, this is my Super Bowl, bro.
I see.
You know what I mean? So me not expecting Sinners to win big is based off of just evidence throughout the years. So we'll see what happens, yo.
Yeah. Madison, Damo nerded out on that right there. Damo went in, man. That's good stuff, man. I like it.
I was ready for it. But lastly, though, I do like, just to kind of keep that up, man. Yo, congratulations to Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan and that team for putting together that fucking incredible movie. And I do hope they win big. That movie was great. I might watch that shit tonight. What do you do for fun, Madison?
What I do for fun?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have any like hobbies or like extracurricular stuff. I just go to work, come home, spend time with my family, and that's it.
Yeah.
that's really it.
Yeah. And your first kid was in the Navy, right? Mm-hmm. You were still in the Navy. In this fraternizing, right?
No. Not my son. My son was when I was in Charleston.
You said, and that's when you were pregnant. That's when you were pregnant, 8 months. Okay, all right, that's when you were 8 months.
And then I had my daughter while I was on terminal leave.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when the fraternization,
Okay. So what's your because we'll close in a minute, but you've been listening to us for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's your like feedback to us? Like what should we be thinking about?
I think you guys do a good job of like talking about like bringing all these people in to talk about all different things, because I can at least once or twice on each episode you guys do, I'm like, I can understand that. Like, I've definitely seen that or heard of that, whatever situation you guys talk about. So I think you guys are doing a good job as it is.
Okay.
All the topics, like everything you guys do, I think it's great. Like everything you guys touch on.
Yeah. Can you like drop a message for the younger sellers to let them know like it's a safe space?
Yeah.
Like for your podcast?
Yeah, please. Yes. Let them know, please.
Yeah.
I promise you guys that this is not a judgmental podcast at all. It's a great podcast to talk on. It's good to bring your experiences out and to talk about them to other listeners so that maybe more people can get on here and be like, well, I dealt with the same thing and this is what happened to me, but it's also different. I would like you guys to learn from my experience as well.
Yeah, man. It's not DRB. It's not DRB, guys. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I hope some people may have, take away from anything I said, even though it wasn't really foreign, about anybody else besides me. But I hope they can resonate with some things that I had said.
If you had to across the line, like have a message for people to take away from you, what would it be?
Always take care of yourself. Try to take care of yourself. Even though the Navy's always like shipmate, self, try to take care of yourself because yourself is, what matters the most. Yourself and your family, and always do what's better for you, not what someone else says.
Unless you're going against the UCMJ, right?
Yeah, unless yeah.
So if you could go back, right? This is my last question for you. If you could go back and talk to your old self back in your MEPS days, right? And give yourself some advice, to get through your Navy journey. What would you tell yourself?
Take it easy on yourself, to not beat yourself up as much. It's going to be hard, and to continue to push through every adversity that you face. So that would be my message.
Good stuff. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say, Madison, I want to thank you for coming on the pod, right? I also want to say I like how open you are. Like, I love those conversations. So for anybody, junior sailors or whoever come on the pod, I just love the fact that when you speaking about your experiences and what you went through, right? And the things you've done. And it's one of those things where you're not being like judged for it, right? It's not about being judged for it. It's about in that moment. Sometimes people don't be understanding. It's that moment, right? We're always going to be able to go back and say, hey, I should have did something a little bit different, right? But you know what? Would I? Would I done it differently? I don't know, right? But that's what makes us better though, right? That's what we learn from. So I know you learned a lot from those situations and from that time. So keep that going. And again, thank you for coming on the pod. Hit us up anytime you have any conversation. Even if you know any sailors still in, junior sailors, hit them up. Tell them, hey, come to the pod, man.
Yeah, this.
Okay, I will. Thank you guys for having me. It was a good time.
Yeah, this is the most fun I had in a while, man. This year, this is the most fun I had in the episode this year, man. And we've been having some fun, but this is just the most fun, Yeah. So for the listener that you might have did an episode with us this year, you were fun too. Just not as fun as this episode, So I appreciate it. We came in kind of cold start, not knowing what we were going to do, and we had a really good conversation. So thanks, Madison. Appreciate you. And good luck at MEPS and in your future with your family and your kids and everything like that. And I think most importantly, man, thanks for the years that you did spend in the Navy. Like, not everybody does that, So I appreciate that.
Most definitely. Yeah. All right,
the
man.
Navy wasn't a good time, so.
Yeah, I like that. All right, Mississippi, stand up.
All right, thank you.